Gary Clark, welcome.
How's it going, sir?
It's going well. It's going well. We are here to talk about NBA 2K16.
Indeed.
Indeed, you've been playing it a lot. I've been playing it a lot as well.
Mm.
So we're here basically to talk about it, our video review to complement your written review, which goes into immense detail, might I add, about pretty much everything to do with the game. Just in case people didn't realize you played it, you fucking played it.
Indeed.
But yeah, NBA 2K16, um, amazing. One of the best sports games I have played, probably the best sports game I have played, and I
Mm.
should probably um super kind of say before that I'm not hugely into basketball. Like we have been to a basketball game in London, like we have been to watch basketball, and I do
Yeah.
watch basketball occasionally when it's on TV. But it's kind of like super late night or
Yeah.
in the UK over here when it's on, so it's kind of difficult to do. But I do have an interest in it, and I know the basics of the sport, so I can enjoy NBA 2K16 enough, but I'm learning. So I'll be learning thanks to tips from you and our good friend Charlie Ward, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Just let's start off with the gameplay stuff because that's where I guess the biggest changes have come from.
Yeah.
Um, what's improved?
Quite a lot, to be honest. Starting off with like the control scheme. Every year they sort of change it up a little bit,
Mm,
and people sort of at first sort of are a bit like, "Oh God, I've got to learn
yeah,
a whole brand new sort of skill set with the controls." But it's slightly tweaked this year, but it's for the better.
yeah. What I noticed because I the last time I played it was 2K14. I didn't really play 2K15. I just didn't get a chance to buy it, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but the controls are slightly different. I mean, they've
Mm.
still got the same sort of stuff, but the buttons have changed.
Yeah.
And from what's changed, it seems to make sense. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Like now to post up with like a big guy, like a center, you
Yeah,
now use the L2 rather than before it was triangle.
yeah.
Last
That's
year,
like so that's like when you're backing into
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Last year it just felt a bit awkward at times,
yeah, yeah.
and the sort of post play last year was pretty poor anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, like, it's just these little sort of tweaks to the controls have made it just feel more natural, more fluid.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's going to take a while to sort of get used to for people to get used to the sort of slightly new control scheme. But once you do, you'll realise it's a lot better than it was previously. And the same with like alley oops are now double tap on triangle rather
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah. I think it basically there's a few tutorial videos for like anyone who's a bit, like new to the game like myself. I guess well not new, like knows basketball, but is kind of, feeling a bit daunted by stuff.
yeah.
There isn't a tutorial mode, which it would have been nice if they had one, kind of
Yeah, I've
explaining
been
stuff.
sort of I've been wanting to see that for sort of newcomers for years, but for some reason they just don't add it. Like the video stuff is good, but
Yeah.
it's not good enough, I don't feel.
Mm.
And if you as a newcomer and you wanted to get into the game, if you look at the just the amount of controls,
Yeah.
it's like ridiculous. It's insane.
Yeah.
So I can imagine like people wanting to get into the game would be a little bit sort of intimidated by
Yeah, it's a bit
amount of
overwhelming at
controls.
first.
Yeah,
Even when we watch the videos, it's like it's a bit overwhelming at first. But when you actually get into a game and you try and you like use the stuff that's change or an offer, like the
mm,
passing stuff, like you press circle for a bounce pass, X for a normal pass, triangle for like a kind of looped pass,
mm,
all that sort of stuff. It just makes sense. It makes
yeah.
sense, and it becomes second nature after a while. And
Mm.
even like the pick and roll stuff, which correct me if I'm wrong, they've had in previous games, and it's slightly changed. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's very similar, but yeah, slightly changed. Again, I think a lot of things pretty much have changed, but it's very slightly. A lot is stuck. A lot is the same from last year. Like obviously, using the right stick,
Oh, for sure.
that's
Yeah.
still the same. But they've added sort of so many different things to the gameplay as well as the controls that it all sort of feels and ties in nicely and just
Yeah.
more fluid. So yeah, like I say, it's going to take a while to get used to the sort of new
Mm.
variations of the controls. But like you mentioned just now about like the new passing, so before you just had pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Essentially, but now you've got three types. You've got the lob, the bounce, and just the standard sort of pass. And it sort of
You
adds
can mix
to
it up, right? Yeah, you
yeah,
can
you
mix it
can
up.
mix it up to the gameplay, and that's something that the game's needed for a while. So
Yeah.
having it this year is it's really cool to see. So
Yeah. And I think staying with the gameplay, the I think the just the overall gameplay, it will, as you mentioned, it will take a while to get used to. It took me like a few games, about 4 or 5 games, to like kind of get in tune with the controls.
yeah,
There is a bit of a learning curve if you're a relative newcomer to the NBA series. Even if you played like me, the last one I played was 2K14. Even if you played one before, it is a bit different. So
mm,
will take a few games, but once that period is over and you kind of get in tune with everything that's going on, it all makes sense. Like there's no like whereas with some sports games you feel like there's needless the button presses. These
mm,
these kind of all make sense
yeah,
within the realms of basketball. It just kind of all makes sense, like pressing and holding is it L1 for to start a pick and roll, and then kind of
yeah,
choosing the stance for the player left or right, and then fade, choosing to fade
fade, yeah,
away, all that sort of stuff. It just makes sense. It just makes sense in terms of like the way it works, and it becomes second nature. So I don't even think about it now. And
yeah. It's true. What when you start out, it's weird because you're sort of like, oh my god, what does all this mean? But once it sort of clicks, it just like you say, it totally makes sense. And
yeah,
yeah, I think the controls this year are brilliant, perfect to be honest. So yeah, they'll probably change them again next year,
yeah, they probably will. Yeah, hope they
but
don't
yeah,
actually. This is
yeah,
this
I
is
think
pretty
they've got
much
a
good.
good,
Yeah.
really good balance this year with the controls. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, a huge thumbs up for the controls, but yeah, it does take there is a bit of a learning curve
yeah,
depending on
for sure, yeah,
how used to the series you are. Um staying with the gameplay because that's where the biggest changes have come from. The defensive side of the game is where I guess arguably the biggest change comes in, and it was kind of I guess a weak point of the last couple of years. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah, definitely. They've sort of it's been a while since they've done anything with the defensive side, but
Yeah.
this year I think they pretty much completely overhauled it. It just feels rewarding to defend now.
Yeah.
Before it just felt like you wasn't really in control. But this year, yeah, like when you're controlling a big man and you're going up for a block, it feels like you're controlling a big man.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It really
and
does. You're right. It does. Yeah.
just like the post up stuff, you can now post up and flick in different directions, and you could do that previously, but you just didn't feel like you was in control of what you was doing.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
and
AI,
like,
right? The AI is also improved as well.
oh, the AI has been massively improved. Like now, if say if you're the Golden State Warriors and you play the ball out to Stephen Curry, if you hit 1 3 and then you try it again, and you keep on trying the same thing, the AI will now adapt to how you're playing and
It really does. It really does. It
block
really
off the
does.
way you play, so you have to switch it up, and it's so clever and it works brilliantly. And
Yeah,
even your AI
yeah,
teammates just move more naturally. They create space for you. They just move more organically. So it's yeah, gameplay wise, it's
yeah.
phenomenal this year.
It's
Absolutely
it's
phenomenal.
very much balanced. So like we talked about the controls, attacking wise, and like the way it is, and then the controls defensive wise, and then the defensive AI. It just all balances really well for a
Hmm.
really realistic game of basketball, and it's got a nice balance of fun
Definitely.
and realism.
That's the biggest
Yeah,
key is fun. It's obviously it's very realistic. It's a sim at the end of the day, but it's still they've got to balance it right because you don't want a game that is just like frustrating to play.
yeah, and
And
even on the lower settings. So I started off on rookie, and then kind of move eventually up to pro.
mm,
The AI is still pretty tough to play against,
yeah,
actually.
even
Yeah,
on rookie, it's pretty challenging.
yeah. The teams will play exactly how they do. So like Golden State are kind of known as the best team, right? Because they were champions
Yeah,
last year. They will destroy you. Like
yeah,
if you give them space, they will destroy you. If you don't kind of block and defend at the right time and kind of cover the lanes, they will destroy you. As I can testify to on pro, they absolutely destroyed me. I think I lost by 20 points in the end, or 25 or whatever it was. But they, like players like Curry and Barnes, they will
yeah.
dominate you. They will dominate.
Against real good teams, you have to be patient. You have to
Yeah.
sort of defend as a unit, and
And it actually is about using like the star players as well. So I play a bit with Heat, Cavaliers, the Spurs as well. You have to, there are these star players like these basketball teams, the franchises, I guess, are built around these key
Yeah,
players, and
definitely.
that's how you'll eventually play as well. You'll want to get the ball to these players or use them in a position where you can take advantage of their strengths.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
what he does really
exactly
well.
right. Yep,
Yeah,
very much so. And this year, it's always had that,
it's more
but
pronounced.
this year it's more pronounced, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say as well, that sort of they've added thousands of new animations and
Oh
obviously
yeah.
foot planting as well, and it just is so fluid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I tweeted out, and which you'll probably see in the gameplay in the background as we're talking as well, where players will jump and they'll kind of land and they'll stumble a bit, and
Yeah,
it's just so realistic in the way the players move. They move like they do in real life,
it's
and
crazy.
it's just crazy. Like, okay, so we talked about the gameplay. Let's move to the visuals. Like, this is another area where it completely blows most of the sports games out of the water. And people will say, yeah, there's less players. Football, there's 22 players on the pitch, but the amount of detail they've got in the 10 players, and not in the 10 players, the players on the sideline as well, the crowd
It's
as well,
crazy.
and the courts, they've got an astounding amount of detail there. And the way the realistic animations, the way the collisions as well, it just all flows so organically.
Oh, it's
And
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, and they've also got the players look like their real counterparts. I think you mentioned in your review that they've for kind of full body scan players as well this year.
Yeah, I don't believe they've done it to all players,
Yeah,
but
probably
sort
not.
of
Yeah,
the main ones, like say like Stefan Curry, LeBron, James Harden, those sort of the sort of big names, I would imagine.
yeah,
But obviously this is just like a starting block for them. So in the future, next year, maybe they can
they
do
can build
even
on it. Yeah,
more. But yeah, from a sort of presentation standpoint, it annihilates every other sports game out there. Um, it's just ridiculous, and they add just new stuff every year, like the post game stuff now with Shaq.
yeah.
It
Where
just
they do the Jordan Player of the Game and
yeah,
stuff
it
like that as
just
well. Yeah,
it's crazy because the way they sort of interact with each other, it's
yeah. They
just
have
like
banter. They have a bit of banter going on.
yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
really
And even
good.
the commentary, like they'll be talking about something, and then like something like an amazing slam dunk or something will happen, and they'll kind of cut in midpoint. They'll be like, "Oh, that was
Yeah,
amazing," and it just
it's
and then kind of flow back into the commentary like just naturally.
it's brilliant. Yeah,
And yeah, it's just so good. It's so
it's
good.
it's crazy. And I even had a game a couple of days ago where they were sort of commentating on the game, and one of them sort of took the piss out of one of the others, and they sort of started having a bit of banter back and forth, and then
That's
sort of
good.
went, "Oh, yeah, let's get back to this." Sort of thing. It just feels really organic, and a lot of sports games have major issues with commentary,
Yeah,
but whoever's in sort of charge at Visual Concepts of doing the sound
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
like
yeah.
audio stuff, is
Very good.
they've done an amazing job. Yeah.
Very
So
good. And they've even got like little things added where like I think doing like if there's a break in play, they'll go in and like have a short interview, they'll show
yeah,
an interview clip of a player.
mm,
And yeah, I think you mentioned in your review like it looks a bit awkward sometimes.
yeah, the
The fact
mouth
that
animations are a bit awkward.
yeah, the fact that but the fact that they've got it in there and it works.
Yeah,
There's a stat. It's like they cut from the game, go for like a little snippet of an interview of like they'll talk about I don't know. They'll interview. I think I was playing a game with the Cavs, and they were talking. They interviewed someone about a LeBron coming in and talking to them. Have kind of the effect he had, and like
hmm
coming and talking about about his experience and everything like that. That just kind of it's like what that is fucking good.
yeah,
That is
it's
good.
really cool. It's really cool to see. Yeah, like we say, it's a bit awkward at times,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, but you can sort of look past that because it's just great to
Because it's
see that
there.
they've
They've got that
added
in there. They've got that in there.
another layer of sort of authenticity. And also, I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but at the end of the game, like the interviews, it's Doris Burke.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit now it only happens now and then, but sometimes when she's interviewing a player, there's another player in the background like photo bombing.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that
Yeah,
yet. That's
they're like
quality.
doing like a funny dance or something in the background because that happens in the NBA anyway. So
That's
they've
brilliant.
obviously thought
That is
let's add
brilliant.
that in. So, but
That,
yeah, from a presentation standpoint, it is
it's astounding.
phenomenal,
It's, it's,
absolutely
it's
phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, like it's on another level.
Mm,
It's got that broadcast. People, some people will hate the broadcast feel of it, but that's part of like basketball.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
kind of entwined, like, but like people, will like some people might hate it because they're not really into American sports. But that's part of the American sport culture. That's the way it is.
It's like an event, a big
Yeah,
event. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and they still have the slam dunk cam and all that sort of stuff
yeah,
as well. And they have these replays, and they'll show like all these stats in between the game as well. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The presentation is immaculate.
fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
really good, really good. Okay, so I've been playing mostly play now stuff, and I've been trying out different teams to kind of see um, who I kind of get fit with. I think Spurs. I think I might be edging towards Spurs. And I've been playing some of the classic teams as well. They've got like Jordan and stuff like that. It's quality.
yeah.
I haven't got into any of the modes yet, but you are a big fan of the modes. So they've got.
Mm.
I, just looking at the menu when you load it up, there's like a shit ton of stuff. Sorry for swearing. There's a load of stuff right there from the menu. Just like, okay, my GM, my career, it's got it's like a list that's going all the way down. And they've even got the NBA 2K TV, which I thought was pretty cool as well. They've got like episode, like a mini show almost,
Yeah, it's really good.
like which like teaches you some tips as well, which is kind of useful for me watching it. Actually, I was like,
Mm.
okay, that's actually a pretty handy tip. So it's
And it's
cool.
interactive this year as well, so
Yeah,
you
yeah. So you could
see
press
which
like
is
I think when I watched it, like they were like asking about my career, and then one of the options was I haven't started yet. So I was like, yeah, I haven't started yet. but yeah, it's yeah, it's so good. But yeah, the modes. So I know there's a bit of well, I don't want to say disappointment, but there's kind of like up and down about the my career. Like Spike Lee's doing it.
Mm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is definitely a chalk and cheese thing, I think. For me personally, when it was sort of announced, I thought, oh, this sounds like it could be really good. And I've played through Spike Lee's sort of storyline section of my career, and to be totally honest, it's not great.
So
The
what's the
re
setup? So the setup is basically because usually what it's like is you basically create your own play at the start
Yeah,
and you go through and there's like you play as your player, right? Is that correct?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's essentially the same again. So
Okay.
you create a player, and you're at a high school playing basketball,
Okay.
and then you sort of play a few games. I think it's free, I believe,
Okay.
and then you go to college, and then from there you go to the NBA draft, and then
Okay.
you're drafted into a team. But it's 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 a tricky one because it's well written, but not for a video game because
Yeah.
it sort of talks about giving you choice and what do you want to do. This is your choice and all this, but
There's
you
none.
have one choice throughout the whole of his storyline, and that is which college you want to attend,
Yeah.
and that is it. And it just doesn't feel right.
Hmm.
Um, you can I can sort of understand why some people would like it, but for me, it just felt
Do you
really,
feel
really
like the previous career modes were actually better?
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
because previous years you sort of it wasn't like a fully fledged story like that, but you would create a player. Like last year's, you would be undrafted, and then you would get a contract for like 10 days with a team,
But there's
and
still
then
a story to it, right?
yeah, you would
Yeah.
prove yourself, and then you would gradually get offered a better contract. But it
Okay.
was just like sort of cutscenes here and there would pop up and sort of
Where you
keep.
meet like some of the star players and what?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that works a lot better. This just felt like you could see that like
Yeah.
Spike Lee said that this was his first sort of
First time doing it.
time doing
Yeah. Yeah.
a video game, and yeah, you
You
like
can
I
tell.
said in my review, you can tell because it's very it's very basic, and
Hmm.
the annoying thing is, like I say, that it sort of spouts out all this, sorry to swear, but crap about
Beat the story.
yeah, it's your story, and you can decide what you want to do and all this, but you can't. That is the
Okay.
most frustrating thing. So, yeah, once you get past, I won't give anything away with the
Yeah.
storyline, but basically you have Spike Lee's Living the Dream storyline section, and once you're past that, then it goes to the the sort of
The usual stuff,
do,
is that right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
usual stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, you can. It's really cool because you have days off, so you can choose to accept endorsements, or you
Oh,
can
cool.
practice, or you can meet up with other NBA players, and each one will.
Can you go out on the lash and have some drinks and just like,
Um,
that'd
not
be
sure if
hilarious if
you
you could.
can, but that would be funny. But yeah, so basically, like practice will, by doing practice, you will get better
Okay, that's good.
as a player, and vice versa. Like the other things just give you VC and like the sorry, the ones where you meet up with NBA players, they give you sort of bonuses for your virtual court, your my court. So
Okay.
it's up to you how you want to do it, which is really cool. And then obviously you have the games to play with your team as well. So
What's the
yeah, that's really cool. But
yeah?
um,
So the element that I've heard about is that you kind of hopefully this isn't a spoiler, but the element I've heard about is that you're kind of stuck with a character or something like that. Is that correct? Like someone called frequency or something like
yeah, frequency vibrations, which is again,
that.
it's like I don't know what, like it's just weird.
Maybe he was like high, just sitting there, and he saw the
Yeah,
word frequency on a box, and he saw the word vibrations on the box somewhere else. He was like, you know what, frequency vibrations, son. There we go, it's sorted.
they do explain why he's called that in the storyline, but I was just like, oh my god, that is cringy. That is like
So, do
really
you actually play as this character, or do you play
yeah.
as your character?
You essentially are your character,
Okay, but your
but
character's called frequency vibrations.
which is really weird.
That's weird. I don't
Yeah,
get that
exactly. Like last year, you
because that
showed.
just that kind of like takes you out of the immersive, like the fact that that's your character that you created, and you have to play through as this character. It's like what
Yeah, but it's weird because it's only like that in Spike Lee's
the
Living
first part. Okay,
But once you get past that,
you're you.
you're Sim Tanvir.
What the fuck?
But yeah, it's really weird. At first I thought it was quite cool. But after a while, I just like
It wears off.
this is not very good at all. Um,
But that's the
so,
only like from what I gather that's the kind of like slight disappointment really about career mode. Apart from that,
yeah.
it's pretty good.
Apart from that, yeah, it's fantastic. So take away sort of his Spike Lee's part of the my career stuff, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, his stuff just don't expect to be blown away by it. That's all I
Mm.
say.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's my career, and then there's a whole other ton of stuff. But I guess the other main mode is my GM.
Yeah,
Uh, what what's that? Is that still the same as previously? That's basically where you're a team, right? Is that correct?
yeah, you basically run the whole
Yeah.
franchise pretty much. They've added like a lot of new stuff this year. They've got this thing called team relocation,
Okay.
which essentially you can customize pretty much everything. Like the name, your arena. You can even move your team to a different city,
All right. Okay.
and you can even upload custom images
Oh,
uh,
nice.
for branding. So
So you'll see loads of penises then, essentially, as a badge.
um, to be honest, you might be able to do that. I don't know. I don't know if they're blocked them out or not,
That's what I'm
but
doing. There we go.
but yeah, they've done a lot to my GM. They've also added free team trades, which a lot of people wanted back. And new face, they've sort of shown off new facelifts for the lottery and the draft presentations, which again is a sort of welcomed sort of addition because a lot of people sort of have been dying for an update with my GM. So
Okay.
yeah, they've improved quite a lot in my GM.
And the mode's
A
vast, as it pretty vast as it
Yeah,
is. Like,
it's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, you
yeah.
can really sort of get stuck in with that and be there for a long time. The biggest disappointment mode-wise is 2K Pro Am. I don't know if you know
That's
much about
that's
this.
the online mode, isn't it? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
you essentially create your own team, your logo, your court. You've probably seen the trailer where,
Yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then you sort of go online and you basically win games and try and get your team at the top of the leaderboards and become the best and all this. But typical 2K style, the servers are pretty shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard the servers are slightly better, but still not
Yeah, they're
stable enough.
fine. I've had no issues for like just general online games, just
Yeah,
like one-off games. But
pro.
Pro-Am, I either was on it for a long period or just couldn't get on it for days.
Mm.
Um, it's
Do you
their
think it
server.
might be like a launch thing, or is it basically a kind of history of?
Um, they have got a bad history with
Okay.
line side of stuff, but it's probably a mixture of maybe the servers are not good enough, plus there's just a shit ton of people on it at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time. But if you're going to do a mode like this, you've got to
It
make
needs to be.
sure that it's stable enough to sort of withstand it. But
Okay.
hopefully, well, I'm pretty sure they will update it with some
Yeah.
sort of patch, but they definitely need to do something.
And they've got the kind of ultimate team style. My is it my
Yeah,
team mode
my
as
team,
well,
yeah,
which
which
is
is
similar.
essentially, basically Ultimate Team in NBA 2K16.
Okay.
But yeah, again, the whole customization stuff you can do all through that as well,
Brilliant.
which is really cool. So yeah, I try it every year, but I'm not really a my team player.
Yeah, but, I mean, but the thing that you pointed out in your review, which I kind of agree with, is like there's something for everyone in terms of modes.
Definitely, yeah,
If you aren't into the whole story aspect of my career, okay, fine, you got my gym. If you want to do it like a fancy mode, okay, that's my team. If you want
yeah,
to just go online and play stuff, okay, maybe it's not stable enough and do pro am. There is pro am, that's the option there. And from what I've seen, I haven't tried it myself yet. There's kind of online seasons mode like they've got in FIFA as well, where you kind of move up divisions and stuff like that as well.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's
There,
there as well.
there literally is a mode for, like you say, a mode for everyone. There's like if you don't like online games, you can just dive into my career. If you don't like my career, you got my GM. If you don't like that, you got my team. Or you
Okay.
can just do just general exhibition one-off games. It's entirely
Okay.
up to you. There is literally a ton here to sort of play around with. So
So it's fair to say then that apart from I guess the slight issues you have with my career and I guess the pro am online stuff,
mm.
wasn't for those two aspects, this game would probably be getting a 10 out of 10 right now.
It would definitely be getting a 10 out of 10,
Yeah, but as it
because
is, it's a 9.5, which
it
is
is a 9.5. Yeah, I had to take a little off because of the sort of online stuff and the
okay.
slight disappointment with my career. But
Okay.
for gameplay and sort of modes on offer and just as a package, there's no other sports game out there that is going to touch this because it's phenomenal. It
I mean,
really.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm just getting into it, and I mean, the my career stuff sounds interesting, but I think my GM maybe might be my type of thing, which
Yeah,
I'll get into probably. So I'm gonna get stuck into. But right now, all I've been playing is play now stuff, and even I'm just hooked on that. Like
yeah,
right now, after we finish this, I'm gonna go play some more NBA 2K16 because I just want to play more.
yeah. It's
Um,
very addictive.
it
Like
is. It
just can't
really
stop
is.
playing.
And I've kind of like mastered. Almost kind of like I'm winning comfortably now on rookie. I think when I reach that point, I'll be playing pro more,
Yeah,
and then you kind of move up. So I think a lot of people have been asking me, like seeing stuff that we've been tweeting and asking like, oh, how easy is it to get into and stuff like that. So basically, kind of take my route, like start on rookie, go try the game out. Don't be afraid of losing and kind of messing up. Just try
yeah,
stuff out. I
exactly.
was even rookie when I was trying out and I was asking you guys for tips. I was getting absolutely owned, but I was like, you know what? It's a learning curve.
Yeah,
Part and
definitely.
parcel. It's part and parcel. But I will agree. It's as I play a lot of sports games. Like the most of the sports thing I play the football games, FIFA and
Mm.
PES. And PES is great this year. Don't get me wrong. And FIFA's kind of so. But that's up to opinion. But either way, the football games are so far behind this.
Uh,
It's,
to,
it's
this,
unreal.
yeah, replicating its real life sort of sport, like this is like so close to what it actually is to watch a game or play a
Yeah,
game.
and it's the
Um,
fact that they replicate it and still have that balance where it's still fun to play. Like,
yeah,
you don't feel frustrated for the fact that yeah, it's just it's so good.
yeah. Even when you get beat, you don't
Oh
feel
yeah, definitely,
frustrated. You
definitely.
feel like that was my fault. I should have
Yeah,
done this better
I
or
should have
that
gone for the
better.
safe two rather than the
Mm,
three, or I should
yeah,
have gone for the really safe two rather than kind of a risky two instead.
yeah,
Or should have played the safe pass there rather than go for that. You've It's all up to you how you want to attack, and choose your point of attack and
definitely.
how you want to play it. And your mistakes are exactly that. They're your mistakes.
Yeah,
There's pretty much nothing so far that I've played in a game where I've been like, you know what, it's out of my control. Uh,
yeah,
it's all in your control. It really is. Um, brilliant. It is. I totally agree with your review. Like it's the best sports game out at the moment.
Yeah,
There's nothing else that touches it. And yeah, I haven't got into the modus pretty like you, but I will probably, I'm kind of a similar my mindset to you, so I'll probably end up agreeing with your score and your review. But yeah, amazing game. Like, don't be afraid of buying it if you're a newcomer.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah,
just get in and play it. Just get in and play it. Like the basics of basketball, there. Like most people know the basics of basketball. Just get in, use those, play it, and then learn the other stuff as you
yeah.
play.
Just take your time with it. That's one of my biggest
Yeah.
sort of what's the word? The biggest tips with it. Just don't expect
Tr-
to learn everything straight away.
yeah, treat it like the first time you had, you made love to a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? Like the first time, just go slowly. Just like find the sweet spots.
Yeah,
Find what you like.
you never want to go too fast. Put it that.
Exactly. Yeah, the first time you made love to a beautiful woman, do it exactly like that, man. Do it exactly like that. That's the best way to describe NBA 2K16.
That's mate. I should have put that in my
You should
review.
put that in review. Yeah, yeah. We'll go back
But
and edit it now. There we go.
but yeah,
Uh,
if you're into sports, even if you're not into basketball, but you really sort of have an interest in this, just pick it up because once you sort of pick it up and play about with it, you'll realize just how damn good it is. It's a special, special game.
yeah, and that's probably a good note to finish it off. I mean, Gary's full reviews up on the site right now. So yeah, go and read that and then listen to us, watch us. But yeah, best sports game,
Definitely, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
brilliant. Okay, well, we'll be back soon with some more stuff, more video stuff. It's a busy period, so we're gonna have loads of more reviews coming. But yeah, cheers, Gary. Thanks
No
for
worries, man.
cheers, guys.
Cheers.